All right, it's the CARESNONE Be Dope podcast. I am your host, Chris CARESNONE, and then with my co-host, Derek Fisher. What's up, baby? I'm really good. I'm really, really good. Very good, and we're going to explain why in a second. But Tom, how you doing, man?
I'm good.
You feeling good?
I'm trying to get things working. I had Derek's mic off for a hot second, but it'll be good. We're in now. We're in.
I'm on.
The levels are set.
How's your mood today? Are you feeling uplifted?
I think you were in the bathroom. I was saying that I actually had to work the last 2 days, which is a big deal for me. So it's been busy, but
that's good.
But I'm good. I'm good.
But that means shit's working.
Shit's working. Yeah.
Shit's working.
Yeah. So I can't complain.
So first, we have to talk about our sponsor.
Right.
Again.
Yes.
Please, Derek, hit us up with our sponsor and the reason why I wanted you to do it is because I feel like you know it a little bit better than I do because it's literally part of your people's.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So please.
And you say that. That's funny you say that. And we're going to get to the sponsorship, but that's not necessarily the case like you're saying it.
What you mean?
What I'm saying is I do know it, but this is she's more so, what my mother provides for me, and I don't want to fuck it up or nothing like that, but what my mother provides for me is entrepreneurship. Right? So we actually, when we talk about business with each other, we talk about each other's business. Yes, so I do know her business, but we more so, I want people to know the inspiration where I'm going to come from with her mostly is through the mindset that she provides for us. Right? So that's a part of, like, national insurance is a big deal, but a part of it, what you really, the value you get from her and her services is the mindset and the know-with-all of everything that has to do with finances. So National Insurance and Tax Service has been established since 2006. It's like when you want to have a relationship that you can trust with your money, this is the place to go. This is for your accountant preparation, tax preparation, financial advice of any sorts. Like, this is where you want to go to build a real lifelong relationship. And that's what I'll say about that.
I'm going to say personally, because I use it as well, she literally got me out of some really shitty situations.
Right.
Because I had no clue. And I would say personally, what I got from her most was, and we talked about this on the last podcast, but it's that for real to me, is she didn't make me feel like a fucking idiot for fucking my shit up. So anyone who's got your shit fucked up, because a lot of people fuck shit up, we talked about that in the last episode, she gonna not let you, she gonna be like, all right, like her vibe was like, oh, let's fix it, let's figure it out. So I definitely strongly suggest y'all go, the promo code is CARESNONE. I think it's 20% off if I'm not mistaken, but please, 15% off, excuse me. Please hit her up, y'all. She supports our podcast. I actually love her son like a brother of mine, and definitely hit her up.
And I didn't want to start that off crazy, but I just wanted to more so say, like, that's the value that I truly get from her. It's not necessarily the offering, it's like the value of just really having a relationship you can trust.
That's what's up. That's what's up. All right, so we got a lot of things we can talk about today. But first, we got to talk about this challenge that I'm on, bro. So let me tell you how this started. So I went to Steve's house a couple weeks ago, and hadn't seen him in a while. You know, he had some family shit go on, and we just kicking it. We were going to go golfing. Not sure why this has anything to do with the story, but I'm just trying to tell the story.
Yeah,
the power of storytelling.
Flex.
We
had a tea time. You know?
So we're going to go, we were going to hit up Top Golf. Right?
Oh, so not actual golf.
It's not actual golf, but we're going to hit up. I mean, I don't know how to play golf. He's going to teach me. But he's teaching me how to, like, hit the damn. That shit ain't easy. No, golf is like that.
It ain't easy.
But golf is actually dope for what I believe. Well, let me tell you why I think it's dope, though, and why so many people do it, especially at certain levels, you know, is because it's like a mental game.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, shit. So then, like, you have to, like, when you're swinging this club, you have to, like, do the same motion every time, and then whether or not you hit a bad shot or a good shot or that girl's got a nice ass or whatever, you have to still make sure you do the exact same motion every time. So people like Tiger Woods, when he was in his heyday, his mental game was just probably so on point, and his calculations were so on point. That's why they do it. Is what I'm learning. Golf is dope for that. So anyways, long story short, well, actually I lied. It's gonna be a long story. So I go over there. I'm like, let's smoke some cigars. I don't know. Something told me to start getting into cigars. I think we talked about that a little bit. I know your brother is in the cigar game, right? Yeah. I'm like, that just sounds like a cool thing to do. I think I'm at that age where there's like some value in that, you know. And then I was thinking personally, the cool thing about a cigar is one, you don't have to inhale it, but two, you can go to these
I
like
had to learn that.
the hard way. Yeah, that's gonna fuck you up. So then you put yourself in like you can go to these like cigar lounges that are like typically nice. You don't typically see bums smoking cigars. This is what I'm thinking. In my existence, you don't see literally a guy, a homeless guy on the street with a stogie lighting it up, talking about some.
That's some Black and Mild.
Maybe Black and Mild, but not like an
Suspicious.
actual stogie. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I'm like, that'd be just a good way to put yourself in environments where people are doing shit. Typically. You know, you get not that I drink, not saying that I might not ever drink again, but old fashioned with a stogie seems like something that people that would do that are like trying
It's
to
a
get
degree of class.
Yeah, it's like a degree of class, and typically degree of class people got money and shit. So that's where I'm going with that. He's like, bet. So we went and got the cigars. I guess supposedly there was there's like a AAA version of the PGA Tour.
Okay.
So it's like the PGA Tour and then like the G League for golf.
Okay.
It's like the G League for golf. He's like, just so happens, because you can't smoke at Top Golf.
Yeah.
He goes, but just so happens in Glenview, there's this which is right there.
Yeah.
So he's like, bet. So we'll hit the stogies up, go there, and you can smoke on the golf course. Sorry. So I'm like, bet. So we go there, But before we did all that, we're sitting at his house, and he goes, hey, man, I heard about this thing called 75 Hard. You ever heard of it? I'm like, what? 75 Hard. I'm like, what the hell is that? And I think I had heard about it before, but I didn't know what it was. And he goes, well, it's this challenge where you have to do these things, and if you fuck up any of these challenges, you got to start over from day one again. So you can be on day 76. If you fuck up, you got to start over. Mm-hmm. And obviously, it's like an honor code, you know. But typically, my thing is, if you're even doing this, you wouldn't be the kind of person who would like lie about that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, because you have to self-police yourself. Personally, with me, I like to put this shit out there. One, because I can inspire people, but two, it holds me accountable. Because I'm sitting here telling people I'm doing it. I'm proving that I'm doing it by all this shit. So let me tell you what you have to do. You have to have. No, this is crazy. You have to have 2 workouts of 45 minutes a day, and one of them has to be outside, no matter what. It could be fucking hailstorm. It could be a damn tornado. You have to figure it out, or it doesn't work. And you can do any workout, you know. You can literally walk, but just get the fuck out the house. To be honest, even one 45-minute regular ass bullshit walk is still better than 99% of people, because motherfuckers ain't doing shit ever. You know what I'm saying? So if you just went out, so even people are like, well, you're not going balls to the wall like David Goggins. It's like, well, what the fuck are you doing? Because even if I just did my regular little walk, and I actually do kind of go decent for the most part, but if you just walk it, that's still better than everyone else. So you have to have 2 workouts. One has to be outside. They have to be 45 minutes. You can't drink for 75 days. You have to stick to a healthy diet for 75 days. You cannot have a cheat meal for 75 days. You have to drink a gallon of water every day for 75 days. You have to take a progress picture every day. And last but not least is you have to read at the minimum 10 pages of a self-development book every day. Mm-hmm. If you miss any of that, you have to start over from day one.
From 75.
It has to be 75 total days.
Right.
And I'm telling you, you can get all the way to day 76. If you fuck up, you have to start over.
It's day 70.
Excuse me, 74. My fault.
I think you said that twice. I was like, wait.
Day 74, my bad.
Okay.
So if you fuck up, you got to start all the way over. Let me tell you this. So Rob, you know Rob, right?
Yeah. I mean, bro.
So he started the day I did. So it was like day 14 for us. You know, we're going kind of hard. He texts me, I fucked up the challenge. I'm like, what'd you do? I guess he was reading his book or whatever, and he had a long day. Everything was done, and he was reading, fell asleep, woke up the next day past 12, and still had like 6 pages left. And he's like, I fucked up. I'm like, damn. My first response was, you got to start over, right? And first, I'm kind of proud of him for admitting that. And so what made me come to the realization is most people who are going to try this are probably the kind of people that would have integrity to say something. I would imagine.
Or that wants a challenge, like up for a challenge for sure.
Right, that's the whole point, right? So, and here's another thing that I'm learning about this shit too. So I've got maybe like 8 or 9 people to try this, right? And I'm telling you, when you mention this 75 challenge to people, they think it's like the craziest thing on earth. They think it's the most like impossible. Not me. You just hear so many excuses of why they could not do it. Not that they don't want to do it. I've heard people say, I just don't want to do that. I respect that.
Right.
But people are like, no, I wish, but no. And I'm telling you, it's 99% of people. Almost every single human being that I've said this to, there's a reason why they cannot. As if as if the people who are doing this don't have lives, kids, businesses. The dude who started the shit named Andy Frisella, I think his name is, literally owns 7 businesses that are extremely profitable, very vicious, with a wife and shit, just podcasts. My point is motherfuckers got time to get it done. You just figured if you desire to do it, you can do it. The kind of supreme confidence I get knowing that people won't even attempt that shit. And you'd be surprised, it's the drinking. It's the water. People say, I can't drink a gallon of water every day. It's like, so, and it's not a weight loss challenge. The thing is you happen to lose weight because you're going to lose weight. It's too vicious, right? But he doesn't call it a weight loss thing because there's easier ways to lose weight. You don't got to do all this shit to lose weight.
Well, that's more lifestyle, it seems.
So he calls it a mental toughness challenge because you literally have to just get it done no matter what. And I think a lot of that is that outside one. Because people are like, why I got to be outside? Be mentally tough. So let me ask you this. So now that you know the basis of YouTube time, now you know the basis of the challenge.
Okay.
I know someone who was like, I really want to do it, right? They were like, I'm psyched. I see you killing it. But I got a vacation coming up in a week and a half, and I'm like, no, it's my first time at this place. I don't know if I can do it. And I was like, personally, you know me, I'm an extremist with this shit, but I'm like, and they're like, but when I get back, I'm gonna start it. And I actually believe that they will. But deep down, I'm like, even if you do it and you'll crush it and you'll fucking crush it, and I'm telling you, do the 75 days, you will guarantee. I've only done it for 2 weeks, and I'm telling you, my confidence game is outrageous right now. No one can tell me shit on this earth right now, on the fucking planet. No one can tell me, because I know I'm doing something that people won't even try. So who the fuck are you to tell me anything? I don't give a fuck if you make more money than me, because I know you could be a rich motherfucker, you won't even try it. Because to me, that means because I think you're mentally weaker than me, personally. Who the fuck am I? But that's just my personal opinion. Even if you wait till after the hurdle that's in your way, because I get it. When we go on vacation, I've done it. I was 400 pounds. You go on vacation, you eat and you drink. That's what we do. Right. We gather on. That's what vacation is. You go somewhere else to eat different foods and shit and drink. Right. That's what vacations are. And you can't fathom doing that because of the vacation. So even if you come back and you accomplish it, in the back of your mind, you know you could not do it when there was a hurdle in your face. That's the way I look at it. I've heard different opinions of that. What is your opinion of that?
I would probably do the same thing, say when I come back from vacation, because it's for that experience specifically. It's not for me to really experience that.
What do you mean?
It wasn't. Well, you said he was starting it out, right? So he hadn't started the program yet.
Hadn't started yet, no.
Right, but he was about to go on vacation. So I probably would have done the same thing. I wouldn't look at it as necessarily lack of mental toughness, but if you wanted it right then and there, then that's what you would have done on a vacation. But I don't think he's necessarily mentally weak. I don't know if he.
I don't want to say mentally weak. I'm gonna say mentally weaker than you could have, because if you really, really, really wanted to do this, but you can't see yourself doing it until after this because how am I going to not drink and not eat bullshit?
So how's he coming to you? Maybe I'm missing the energy.
So the energy is I'm going to
do this.
Books and shit. I'm bought a book that's called 75 hardcore.
He's got it. So he's got the, okay, maybe I'm thinking you talked to him and you heard about it. He's like, okay, well, I can try it when I get back or something like that.
No. They 100% want to do it.
Right.
1,000%.
Right.
That's what threw me off. It's like, if you don't want to do it, you don't want to do it. Then do what you want to do.
I'm about to say, maybe I need his energy.
So they want to do it.
Okay.
Like, stoked about it. Got their friends stoked, ready to go, ready to tear the world up. But after this vacation, because there's just no way I'm gonna be able to go on this vacation and not drink. So, and Steve is also going on vacation.
Yeah.
So here's what I did. So I went on YouTube. You know me, I gotta go YouTube.
Oh shit, we all do.
You gotta go YouTube. And I just Googled or YouTubed, which is the same thing. Google and YouTube.
Right.
But you know what I mean. But I YouTube searched, 75 hard success stories, right? And like, all of them were like, man, it was going to be hard because I got this vacation coming up. And it's like, but then I just see all these people saying, we thought that was going to be the hardest part, was going on vacation, and they all fucking crushed it. So all I'm doing is seeing these stories of people that had the same fucking hurdle, and they overcame it. And they all, 100% of them, every single human being that has done it, has said it was the number one best thing they've ever done for themselves ever, 100%. Not one person was like, oh, it was okay. No, it was like, no, this is life changing. Because it takes 75 days. Was it 2.5 months? Right. It's no joke. I'm 2 weeks. So there's this app, right? And it's got 75 days and 1 through 7, and it's da-da-da-da. And I only got 2, and you fill it out every day. and then when you accomplish the day, when you complete the day, it goes red. So it'll be a red 1, red 2, and then red. And right now, I've done 14 days, and I only got 2 red lines, and I still got like another like 10 fucking lines. So I'm like, so I can see it's mental. You have to be mentally tough.
Yeah.
You know, there was the other day I had smoked before, and I learned a lesson. I smoked weed, and I was like, oh man, like I don't want to do this. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. That's the one thing about weed. You get kind of like lethargic and shit like that. But I'm like, man, I got to do this. Because especially me, my whole brand is about transforming this shit. It's like, I have to complete it. That's the way, to me, listen, as a human being, I don't have to do shit. But for my brand, I feel like I have to. Like especially if I'm putting it out there, I'm talking about it. If I don't do it, that and all the people who tried it because of me, I feel like that way I have to be strong.
Yeah.
Because if I don't, then I feel like everything that I talk about is just full of shit. So that's why I post all this shit.
Yeah.
So
no, but it makes sense too. I mean, that's the CARESNONE brand. You know what I mean? The 75 challenge, at least. It seems like that's part of the whole situation that you're trying to push.
Well, at least the be dope part.
Yeah, I think it's kind of both, isn't it?
Well, so we talked about this before with the brand.
Okay.
And there's 2 elements to this brand, man. Because a lot of people still fuck with the I don't give a fuck about people's opinions part, which I do too. Which is still a transformation because sometimes you have to transform to the person who no longer gives a fuck. Or at least you have to start, because listen, I think that's the biggest bullshit. We all give a fuck. Mm-hmm. My whole thing is to stop giving a fuck about the things or the people's opinions that keep you from being dope. That's the whole thing. Because I give a fuck what you think. I give a fuck what Tom thinks. But I don't give a fuck what you think if you're telling me that CARESNONE strategy, and fuck what you think. You know what I'm saying? When it comes to that. So it's almost like you have to pick and choose. But anyways, there's 2 separate entities. And as far as I just feel like there's 2 brands. There's the one of like the self-development part, and then there's the other fuck people's opinions. I feel like I can break. Okay. We talked about this.
Yeah.
So I'm like,
What would you say the 75 challenge lies?
Oh, the be dope part.
Be dope.
Yeah, for sure. That's to get your shit together. You know, I'm learning. You know, and that's the cool thing about the brand because it's forcing me to get my shit together. Because I've always hated.
That's why I say it's a good. I like this challenge. Oh. It makes sense as you kind of tell it more. I'm like, man, this really can.
Oh, bro. Yeah, okay. Well, and here's what I'm learning. So here's the one thing that I've learned so far, and then based on also reading all these people's, fucking reviews and shit, they also one of the things they learn the most is how much time you actually have versus what time you think you don't have. Because I feel like one of the biggest lies that we all tell ourselves is we don't have enough time. It's like,
of course,
you probably got
way time for more time. We got time for what we want.
Because I'm telling you, they say, oh man, hey, do the 75 hard, you finish it, you get $15 million. I promise you, everyone does it, 100%, right? Everyone's gonna do it. And you know what, I'll give you 3 workouts. So there's bullshit. Or they say, not even, they say your kid's gonna die if you don't do the 75 hard. I promise, if you love your kid.
Right.
If you love your kid.
I know a couple motherfuckers.
That's what I'm saying. So
cocaine's a hell of a drug.
You're gonna find the time. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, so then you just have to make. So now you gotta so now I'm forcing myself to get up early because I need to make sure I have time to do these other things.
Yeah.
But also I have to do this.
Yeah.
And for me, it's I'm telling you how I feel about it. It's giving me like an extra little oomph. And I've heard this from some of these other people who have done it. They say when it's over, a lot of them, it's almost a little bit depressing to some of these people because it gave them such a thing to work for. And it's like, damn, it's kind of over. But then all of them transform. They all realize. So it's the mental toughness part as far as like discipline too. Because I'm going to get it done. But how come I don't get it done when I got to edit a video? So I feel like something like this is going to just solidify the thought that you can get it done if you put the emphasis on it.
Right.
If you make it the priority.
And I'm pretty sure there's a reason why it's 75 days specifically too. Probably the amount of training that your brain needs to really lock in on something to where when you stop doing it, you really start to itch. You know what I mean? Like, hey, I really missed that. So I'm pretty sure
talking about like the 21 days is a habit thing, but like probably even more so.
I mean, this is a lot of shit to develop with a habit. You know what I'm saying?
Right. And so the book I'm choosing to read, which is vicious. I'm so glad. And at first it was kind of tough for me. It's called Procrastination: Why We Do It and How to Get Over It. Yeah. I'm like, this is perfect. Because the reason I'm doing this is a big part of it is because of my procrastination issues. And it's actually a crazy book so far because I'm learning that I'm like, am I just a procrastinator because I'm just this piece of shit that's just lazy and all this kind of shit? It's like, no, bro. There's like motherfuckers that studied this shit, MITs and shit, and studied it for like 50 years. It's way deeper than you just a piece of shit who don't get shit done. You don't know what the fuck is going on in your brain between the ages of 1 and 3. Shit could have happened. There's all kind of neuroplasticities and all kind of crazy shit. Some of it's genetic, some of it's biological, a lot of it's your environment, and a lot of times, so far, I'm only on page like 100. But what I'm learning is, it's a lot of times it's rooted in fear, and not necessarily. And there's different reasons why people procrastinate, but a lot of times why we procrastinate, according to this book so far, the thing that hit home for me was that you don't want to be like controlled. And I'm always saying that shit. I hate being controlled by any motherfucking thing. So what they're saying is you taught yourself how to, like, let's say, man, this is due at 7 o'clock, and then you'll be like, fuck you. I'll get it in at 7:05 if I want to. I won't even start it until and he was saying, not that you even, it's like almost a subconscious thought. It's not like something, because when I procrastinate, I don't think that I'm doing it on purpose.
Right.
You know, like for instance, what I know is with my procrastination, let's say I got to go on this computer, right? And I don't necessarily love, I'm not fluent
right.
in fucking computer work, you know what I'm saying? But if I sit down and put the work in and the energy, you get some shit done. And like, I know I gotta upload this thing, and it's gonna take a little energy. And then I'll go clean like something. I'll notice something in my bed, and all of a sudden I got the cleanest room on earth. I was like that.
You like, handle all fucking.
Yeah, so you
parts
handle
of your
all
house.
of it, but you don't handle the shit you're supposed to, because that bedroom could wait. That thing is gonna go towards your fucking what you needed to. The bedroom can wait. And I feel like I do a lot of that. So I'll get a lot of shit done. It's like busy work, but it's not like necessarily the work that needs to get done. And that's just my own personal, and I do it sometimes, and I'm probably further than I used to be. But I think in order for me to become this uber successful business person, I have to really limit this amount of procrastination that I'm doing. Because I'm like, that's fucking me up a little bit. It's like, and then like I'm telling you, I'll go do something that's even important, but not as important as this. So it's almost I have to like prioritize,
right,
and then be honest about that. And then another thing I'm learning about this motherfucking book is, we're scared of feeling, procrastinators, we're scared of feeling the feeling, and that's where the fear comes in. So you don't do it because, like, for instance, let's say I got to go on YouTube and learn how to edit this specific thing on Adobe. And it's like a learning curve. If you're not fucking fluent on that shit, and even if you go on YouTube, which is a huge thing, I gotta go back and forth. Like, what did he do? Slow down. Yeah, oh shit, hold on. What is he doing again?
And then the buttons are never the same.
It's never the same.
DM me, all right? I work in Premiere, all right? I does this.
Oh, right, you get it.
So what are you saying?
Well, I'm just like, if you got a question, like hit me up first. I'll see if I can help you out, all right?
Right.
Well, that's the main reason why he hired you.
Okay.
Especially there's real talk. But my point is like, damn, But
now it's more. You know what I mean.
I know.
But then you also, as a person who understands energy and shit, I don't want to necessarily, like, if it's a quick question, but you got your life and shit. I'm not about to just keep asking you for free fucking questions all the time, because people get paid for that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, well, like if it's something difficult, if you're like, oh, how do you key some shit out and do all this shit? Like, I'm not gonna be able to put that in a text. But if you're like, I want to do this. Is there a button for that? I could probably help you out.
Okay.
I'm just throwing it out there before you. Speaking of procrastination, like at least try with me, and if I'll text you back if I can, man.
Yeah, because I was trying to do this like mosaic thing with all these photos I got, because I want to do something cool with the ad. But it's like, but then they got people on Fiverr that can just do it for you. You pay them. So I'm like,
that's probably the wiser thing.
Right. Just like pay someone else, and that's not even that expensive. Like, it's like $20, and they'll do like a thing. I need to take more advantage of those things.
You got to get on it.
So you fear the feeling of the learning it. So what happens is, what happened to you in the past, you've associated this feeling of, oh man, this sucks, or I feel stupid, or and then you're like, I know I gotta do that, but I don't know. And sometimes you don't even know that. It could be subconscious for some shit when you was a kid, that's why you've been this way this whole time. And the crazy thing is, you will never know what happened to you when you were 1 through 3. You don't know what the fuck happened.
Right.
But what it's like, this neuroplasticity shit, when you learn something, these neural pathways is what they saying. It makes so much sense. Imagine like a fresh mountain of snow, and you're going sledding, right? And the first time you go down, you can create your own first path. But then the second time you do it, then all of a sudden, then you start to get in this path, then the groove, and then all of a sudden you can't go anywhere because the groove after, when you see a sled or any type of trail, now you're forced to go down there because it's been, the fucked up thoughts you've had or the fucked up feelings you've had, the fucked up experiences you've had, this is what you think of this experience.
I like that analogy.
Huh?
I like that.
Yeah, it was a great analogy. So
It's
I'm
like he's opening the door for that
Right.
specific feeling.
Right. So and then you try to stay away from that. And I'm like, and when I'm really thinking about this shit, I'm like, I don't like the feeling of fuck, I have to learn this. Or, oh man, I'm not gonna do it. And now that I'm starting to think about energy and time and shit, it's like, okay, well, I know if I try to do this new thing on Adobe, it's gonna probably take me, if I'm being honest, a 4-hour thing to learn this shit accurately. You know what I'm saying? And I could be doing other things with that 4 hours, but I also have to get this thing done. So then because I have this analysis paralysis, then I don't do none of it. You know what I'm saying? It's just fucked up. So this book's actually been super. Anybody who's dealing with procrastination, so far I'm getting a lot of value from it because I always thought it was just a perfectionism thing, right? Because and this is what I learned when I went to school at Psychology 106. They were saying a lot of times with procrastinators, we'll wait to the last minute to do a lot of things, and then if we get like a B, we'll feel dope because like, oh man, shit, I just threw this shit together the last night and got a B, and if you fuck around and got an A, you really feel like a champ. I didn't even try. Now imagine you got 3 months to do this paper and you put fucking an hour every day for 3 months and you got a C. That probably would fuck me up. Especially if I believe in his energy, I believe I can accomplish any motherfucking thing. So you mean to tell me I put an hour every day for 3 months and I only got a C on it? That probably would fuck me up. So I think that they were saying like that feeling can keep you from trying the correct way. And that's what I always knew about procrastination. But there's like so much more than that. And I learned that 20 years ago. So I can only imagine what they've learned more about it now. So this procrastination thing, which is perfect for this challenge So I'm doing this challenge to help me prioritize what's important to me, what's important to me.
Right.
And at the same time, I'm reading this book about procrastination and prioritizing things. So I'm like, and it just kind of popped up. I didn't specifically look for it. I'm like, oh, should that be a great book to read for me personally, right? So this 75 Hard Challenge, I suggest y'all to give it a shot. If you want some type of like, what's a good word? If you're like looking for like something, you out here jagging in life, you fucking up, this will be a quick way. I don't know, quick is relative, but it'll be a good way to get you sparked in the right direction. Because I promise you, everybody I'm telling you, I'm only 2 weeks in and I feel like a fucking champ already. I feel like I'm already more on my shit in the 2 weeks. I can only imagine, and physically too. Physically, I'm already like, it's crazy. I'm running 5 miles now, bro.
All right.
Remember when I started in 2020, I was running a mile and I was like dying. And now, and because here's what happened. So you have to work for 45 minutes, right? And I'm like, well, I got to get a 45-minute workout, but I also want to prove it based on the app. So I want to show people that it was 45 minutes. So it forced me to go outside of my comfort zone of 2 miles at the time, and I went straight to 5. So I went from 3, I was doing 5Ks, to 5. So like I added 2 more miles, and it was all just a mental shift. Nothing changed. I wasn't, you know what I'm saying? I was just struggling with 3.1 miles, a 5K, a month or two ago. And so
you were accomplishing.
Right. Say that again?
Accomplishing.
Yes. Yeah, I was accomplishing, but it was still, like physically I was like, this is tough. Yeah. But I was doing it. So I felt like a G, but I'm like, this is tough. But then literally I'm like, well, I got to make sure my thing says 45 minutes so people can see that I'm doing it for 45 minutes. So I'm like, and I don't want to, I really don't want to like break it up in 20 minutes in this, 20 minutes in this, even though that would work. I just want to have the one screenshot. Y'all can see 45 minutes. I got it in. Y'all can do it too. So it forced me. So it was really just a mental shift of I'm going to do it. I'm going to fucking get it done regardless. I'm going to hit that. And then I went fucking an hour just for the hell of it the other day just to get, so now where does that come from? So literally in the last month, because of this challenge, I've literally upped my miles from 3.1 to 5. And if I'm being honest, if I'm being brutally honest, I think I could have went longer.
Of course you can.
I'm talking about even in that day. So it's like, oh man, so it's all mental, bro. This whole fucking life shit is how we fucking interpreted the stories, and then how your brain just breaks it down. Like tends to be a little bit more cynical based on his, but I'm saying based on his environment, his upbringing, whatever happened in his life, this is why he thinks. Same thing for you, same thing for me. And who the fuck is right or wrong? None of us at the end of the day. Who gives a fuck if he's cynical? Who gives a fuck if I'm overly optimistic? Doesn't really matter. It's just our story that we believe in. So it's just like, this life shit is getting, I'm like excited to be alive.
Okay.
Like, you know, like this is crazy. And I think the 75 Hard is helping me get even further.
Yeah, it's creating it's holding a story together for you to really propel you in life. You know what I mean? I feel like that's what it's doing for you, especially for a person or people who are like you said, into like have procrastination issues and stuff like that too, and just to challenge yourself. I think people who are into challenges, this is something that's good for. You know what I mean? I like it.
You know what's funny?
Well,
you texted me. I was like, because I still gotta get my 45-minute after here. So I was like, hey man, you mind going for a walk with me afterwards? And you was like, yeah, no doubt. And then he was like, yo, ass always on a challenge.
I was like, you always on a challenge. That's Chris.
It all makes sense why you were blowing me off with the text messages about how you didn't want to do things after. I see you.
Yeah, because I got to get that done.
Yeah.
He's blowing you off? What happened?
No, we're not gonna do that on the text. We know what we're talking about. It's all good. It's all good.
I want to instigate.
No, I was trying to kick it after.
Yeah, we gonna talk about it.
Look. You blew me off because you was like, I gotta go home early.
That's not.
I was gonna. No, see, he just gaslighted us. That's fucked up. Yeah, so no, so that's what I'm on right now. That's the major focus in life.
Wonderful, man.
And I'm telling you, it's really helping me, like almost piece it together.
I think it's developing a good rhythm for you. It's developing it, but also it makes sense for you too, Chris. I mean, you've been working towards this actually for a minute. It's just that Steve kind of, yeah, absolutely. You stop drinking
real quick. I just want to. I'm cutting you off here, but just because Chris, this is you're giving so much of a nod to this program. Like, when is the Chris CARESNONE program coming out?
Well, first let me finish this.
Okay, but like,
and I told all the people. Bro. So that's a good point. I
do your
make
own
my own
rendition of
point.
it, like,
because
you literally. I'm looking at the clock right now. You spent 30 minutes hyping that shit up. You're passionate about this, like that's your whole brand. Like,
so I think I'm passionate about the
CARESNONE challenge.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Right, it's about the challenge.
So it's not necessarily his challenge because you can call it the 79 challenge.
So as you were talking, it reminded me of professional athletes. So except for your version of it as a challenge, but just think of Michael Jordan. He's just obsessed with just like competition. You're not necessarily trying to be competitive with any person per se, but you want to be competitive with like a life challenge. So that's the way it kind of reminded me of. It's like a professional athlete being just after, like, let's say after they retire from basketball, after you retire from that 75 days, they like, damn, but I still need the challenge. I still need that combative nature because I'm so used to that energy. Right, so what else can I do? Let me go play something else. Let me go do something else.
Like Kobe when he did he went into the storytelling.
Absolutely.
Right.
I need that challenge again. So I think that's when you mentioned after 75 days, and it's like some people feel that again. I was like, man, that reminds me of the professional athletes. That's like, I just need a challenge again. So I think for people like you need a transformational type of situation again, or something that's going to push you or challenge you again. It's not necessarily competitive against a person, but it's a challenge against like a life struggle. So that's what I think you've been building up this whole thing for a while. Like I said before,
you've been doing challenges on deck.
Yeah, you always do. You stopped drinking for over a year ago too, so that's part of the challenge.
It's like, almost 2 years now.
Right, 2 years ago. Let's shout out to you. Bam, bam, bam. You know what I'm saying?
That's why that part was easy to me because I was like,
right, that's what I'm saying. But
as he's like ripping into this guy going on vacation, like you need alcohol? What? You need this?
But before it was, you know what I'm saying, we was in it.
Right. Well, so yeah, and you know what? And when I tell people,
so it's hard to tell somebody who ain't had
I know, and that's where I'm working on as myself is understanding that people's journeys are people's journeys.
Right.
Just because my journey is my way doesn't mean that yours is going to be. And that's something that I'm personally working on because to me, it's like I want. And it only works if I feel that this person is like going through something. I'm like, oh, okay, I know how you feel because I felt that way. Trust me.
Right.
So what did you call it? Nation building. That's what I feel like I'm doing. Is like I got y'all because I know how y'all feel. So you just follow. Just trust me. Like with the weight thing, I know what y'all doing because it's like, for instance, Tavares. He knows he can get you in shape, but he don't understand what it means to be a fat motherfucker who don't understand the food aspect. And you know, and the mental shit with that, there's a whole different ball game if you've never, so he can eat he literally will eat donuts at the fucking gym, right? But it don't fuck with him.
Right.
if I even look at a donut, it fucks me up. You know what I'm saying? And I'm talking about just mentally. I ain't even talking about physically. Like,
I
man.
hear you.
And then imagine doing DoorDash. So think
You
about
smelling
that.
all the good flavors.
So think about that, right? I'm on this mental challenge. It's a mental toughness. You want to talk mental motherfucking toughness.
I didn't think about that.
Man.
I'm gonna start ordering on your shit.
Oh, bro. But I heard this quote once that said, a lesson will keep being brought to you. Well, no, excuse me. It said, issues will keep coming to you until you learn from it. So until you learn, it's going to always be a fucking problem.
It's gonna always be an issue.
And for a while, it's like, so again, how am I, so I got away from the restaurant business and still dealing with restaurants.
I know, I was thinking
It's
about that the
fucking
other
weird,
day.
right?
Yeah.
Like, what is that? So it's like, is it a lesson that I haven't learned? You know what I'm saying?
It was interesting. I was thinking about that the other day. But I'm weird. I look at it from a different perspective. But I see what you mean. Well, I look at it as me, climbing fancy trees all day.
Explain.
All I do is just like distribute food, but I just distribute them to people's houses, which are just fancy trees. I think like a
tree house?
Yeah. Well, that's just that's what our dwellings are. They're just reminiscence of what we used to live in before.
Right.
But that's kind of how I look at it. But I was thinking about like you still distributing to people like a food, but it's a different way of doing it.
Well, and another for me, from having like a food disorder and having like an issue with food and overeating, and it's like, and you're still in that game when I got out of that game.
Yeah.
You know, I'm like, good. I'm away from the food game, and then I'm right back in it. And now, not only am I in it, but I have free reign to do whatever the fuck I want. So I can like literally stop the car and go. Whereas if I was at work, you can't necessarily just stop and go eat something. So like I really have to be mentally tough. And then you add this challenge where you can't fuck up on a diet. You know what I'm saying? And you're trying to lose weight, and then you got the best smelling shit on the planet right to your right. All kind of, I went to Cinnabon under there. I'm like, Cinnabons. They go to the mall and smell Cinnabon, man. That'll fuck you up if you ain't got your shit together. And I can see how someone can really lose, because I've lost that battle thousands of times in my life, and I've been winning it a lot more lately. But it takes up so much fucking real estate in my brain, man, the food thing, and I'm still in it. So it's almost as if you ain't learned the lesson yet. And I feel like 75 Hard may be helping me learn this lesson finally and once for all. I probably should talk to a therapist or something. You know, a real talk, because like I wish you guys realized how much fucking energy I put in, like my mental energy, which is the most we use, into dealing with food issues. Even if I'm winning, right? Because right now I'm fucking winning that game. But it's like, imagine, you know what it feels like? It feels like a basketball team, and you know, they don't start playing serious to the fourth quarter, so they always got to come back from behind 10. They win it, but they always got to come back from behind 10. Why can't they just come up from the top, kill it, so it's easy?
That was the Bulls one year, I'm telling you.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, why, you know, and it's like, whoa, why do I so much energy. I wish I didn't have to think about that shit, because I could just think about something else. You know, I'm telling you, it gets so bad sometimes that I'll have to like, you can just have something, and then I'll just be we can be having a conversation right now, but 20% of my thought is on what's the food or the candy or whatever. That's how fucked up it is. And like I said, I've been winning the battle in the last few years since I lost all the weight. So the fact that so think about that. That's nothing that gives me uber confidence. Is because I have a serious fucking like probably like psychological issue to food, probably stemmed from trauma as a kid or something. I don't know what the fuck happened before I was 7. There's something obviously where I have this like scarcity mindset when it comes to food for some reason. But then you lost 175 pounds with that. So think about that. So as far as my confidence is concerned, it's like, okay, I know that's a fucking problem, but it can be overcame. So can't nobody tell me what the fuck you can't overcome. Mm-hmm. So then, not to bring you up or anybody up, but when people have like this kind of limiting belief, I'm like, the fuck are you talking about? Because if you even knew what the fuck that I go through in my brain, and again, it's my story, but how I feel about my fucking issues and my upbringing and things that happen to me and getting cancer and shit. You mean to tell me you can't go get 2 45-minute workouts? Man, fuck you. I really believe that. So people who have like this kind of like limiting, not me, poor me, victim mentality shit, that shit is extremely hard for me to accept. And I have empathy for it because I think I used to be that way, right? So I'm like, okay, so I'm not gonna say, fuck you, get the fuck out of my face. Right, but I do have like this kind of like David Goggins attitude to, well, let's fucking figure it the fuck out, because if you knew what the fuck was going on in my head, you would be like, oh damn, if he can fucking do it, I know I can. I was 417 pounds. Fuck you.
Yeah, and that's what I say. When you have such a transformational experience like that, there's nothing anyone can tell you
On earth.
There's anything anyone can tell you at all. No.
That you can't accomplish them. And
Right.
then you add the fact that my grandmother told me, like on some Donda shit from day one, from the jump, that if you think you can't, say you can. I know motherfuckers, I've said that story before, and I know it's kind of woo-woo with the whole affirmation thing. Let me ask you, D, do you think that I believe I can accomplish anything?
Yes.
Where would that stems from that moment?
I want to say real quick, of all people, I believe you more than most. Like you know, you are at the far end of the spectrum of like, yeah. So
But he adopts it.
hats
It's
off to you.
Right.
But I really believe that, and because and then like you said, you can your own personal story, and then all of a sudden you can start finding things in your story that can like solidify your thoughts about it. So I was like, wait a minute, you did this, you did this, you did this, you did this, you can do this. What else can you do? But then you start to realize, okay, so you've gotten a couple of little things done, but now you're trying to get to here. Oh, it's going to take another level of, work or whatever it's going to take, mental capacity. You got to figure it out. So it's like, oh, okay. And then with this whole business thing and entrepreneurship, it's like, okay, so I've read that the best way to change is a physical body transformation. It's like one of the best ways to get your mind right? It's the best way to get confidence, and it's because then you realize, because most people who are like a fat fuck, you just kind of, this is the way I'm always going to be. I'm just big boned, and it is what it is. My whole family's got this, and da-da-da-da, right? But then when you get to a point where you accomplish that, then from there, most people who lose a lot of weight tend to do more shit.
Right.
Because they realize what's possible at one point they did not think was possible, right? So then all of a sudden you do that. So body transformation is good, but the entrepreneurship is a whole different game, and it's way harder. It's way harder, and it's not harder as far as like, because all you gotta do is get the insight, right? And once you know what to do, but you have the hard part, and I hate to even say the word hard, I don't even like using that word, but the part that's tough is you have to change how you think in order to make this shit work. You can't be the procrastinator. And if you are a procrastinator, you have to find the motherfuckers who ain't gonna, and there's all these different insights, and I'm like, oh shit. Oh man, so I gotta get that done. Oh, you gotta have integrity. Oh, you gotta do the right thing. Oh, man, you gotta really make sure to call that person back. You can't, and then you work more often. Right. And that's a lot of things people don't realize either. So you give up working 40 hours to work like fucking 80, 90. You know what I'm saying? Like, so now if someone hits me up about a shirt or a hoodie or something at 12 o'clock at night, I'm working now. Whereas if I was at the restaurant or something, I'm off.
Kiss my ass.
You know what I'm saying? Right. So it's like, oh no. So now you need more energy. So another thing that I've learned, the reason why a lot of entrepreneurs tend to get into like the body is because you need the energy to do, because this entrepreneurship is a lot. Mm-hmm. It's a fucking lot. Especially if you're still working. If you're still working, and then it's like not a side hustle, but your second thing, because you still have to do this thing to take care of your life.
Right.
Well, I can see how motherfuckers feel like, man, well, it's hard for me to do that because, I got to work 50 hours a week. I got to come home and my kids are fucked up. My girl's bitching, I'm serious. So I can see where people be like, man, I don't got the fucking energy, man. This is no way. I want to come home and relax. I just dealt with all this shit. My 3 hours at night, I want to watch the game or whatever. I want to play 2K. I understand that because that was me, but I'm telling you, what I'm learning is if I can find the switch, and I feel like I have, that it's the juice is worth the squeeze if you put that work in. And I feel like I put a lot of work in, and I still feel like I don't put enough work in. Right. I feel like if I'm being honest, I feel like I'm bullshitting. But I bet you, I feel like I'm completely bullshitting. But I bet you, if people saw me and what I do every day, they'd be like, "There's no way you bullshitting."
Right. Well, that's because you've seen another level, though. I think that's what it is. You know how it is. Once we always find ourselves for some reason at the bottom when we want to strive for more. So for some reason, even no matter what we're accomplishing, like even when Kanye said in his documentary, this may be your shit, but I'm nowhere near where I see myself, and that was over 20 years ago. So I think as you grow and as you see more, I think this business stuff really opened up a lot of shit for you. So you're seeing what you can accomplish with it. And a community you can create with it. So you're seeing how much you will have to sharpen yourself for it. So I think once you see the opportunities, that kind of creates the next level, but it's always like you starting off here.
Right.
And never
You were
really
just
there.
saying in the car, I was like, because I left a job making like 80, 85 grand, right?
Yeah.
Or, which isn't terrible.
But you were
That's a good
feeling.
Huh?
That's a good job.
As I say, if the average
good job.
if the average American income is 50K or whatever, something like
Yeah.
that, so like you're above average technically. But it's just like what you said, where we're thinking now, it's like that's literally chump change
Yeah.
for what's possible for the amount of
Right.
money that's in circulation. It's like literally it's low.
I'm just generational wealth or better at this point.
So right. So
'Cause
then,
why not?
Because why not?
Why not?
And I think that's where what's changed for me
Yeah.
is because I believe if that person can do it, what do they piss? Is their piss made of gold?
Yeah.
No, like you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Are they born better or no?
Yeah.
It's just they figured it out for someone.
You know what's funny? I had my little sister over and my niece the other day, and we all went out for Juneteenth and whatnot, celebrated, had a nice brunch. Shout out to Juneteenth, by the way. And I took her to my rooftop and everything. We just kicking it, and there's a plane that goes by, and it has a banner. I think it was for like Stoli's Vodka or something like that. And they're like, wow, damn, they did all that for that? And I was like, you know what? Yeah, they did that. But Maya, we supposed to be doing that shit too. Like, no, that's what we supposed to be doing too. Why not have my shit flying around my city?
Right.
That's where my shit is gonna be. That's how we supposed to be that. That's the norm. So that's kind of how
You know what? That's interesting because what I've noticed, especially now more that because I'm now focused on business. So now I'm like starting to understand I'm seeing other people's businesses and like how are they doing it? How when I call them, how do they speak to me versus how I speak to my. So I'm just more acute. I think the word is acute. I'm more acute of different business practices now because I'm just trying to learn my own shit, right? And then when I'm learning it, especially when I do DoorDash, that like, wait, so McDonald's, all they did was start 50 or whatever, how many years ago. So that's like their biggest one, right? They've been in the game for a hot minute. But then I can do this. I can buy all that same shit too. So if you give me $50 million right now, I can build my own McDonald's and call it Chris Donald's. You know what I'm saying? And do the exact same thing. So it's just a matter of the reason why it seems so like, whoa, McDonald's, you think about the billions and the shit, it's all over the world, is because they've mastered the game. They've gotten the right people and the right pieces in place, and they've been doing it for a hot minute. That's another thing too, is like trying to do the shit overnight. You know what I'm saying? That's like another. It's like nigga, it ain't about to pop tonight.
Right.
Nike did not pop day one. You know, it did not pop day one. So I'm like, okay, so you have to be. And then I feel like Listen, I sell like maybe on average a shirt a day, which is for some people sell no shirts. So
No, that's
I remember you
wonderful.
made a comment. You looked at me one day. He's like, oh well. I'm like, well, shit. To me, that's good because I was selling.
You know what? Don't you do that?
That's what he did.
No, I did not.
I'm gonna defend you.
No,
you didn't do that.
It was the opposite.
It was the opposite.
I was just like curious. I was like, what are the numbers? And you were like, oh, I don't mind to tell you. And then you told me that, and I was like, cool. Like I wasn't like, holy shit, and I wasn't like, damn, you suck.
I took it like it's like, oh, okay, well, okay, cool, yeah, sure, but that's cool.
I would half the shit out my mouth. You're always like, Tom, like you assume there's like a bad connotation.
I took
with
it as like, oh no, that's pretty decent.
Okay,
Yeah,
well, the point that I'm making was is that,
I'm getting dogged on.
so what the fuck was the point? What was the point? Damn, I lost that.
That you sell a lot of shirts, and I'm really
What an
really proud
asshole.
and impressed with you.
Oh man,
No, you sell a shirt a day, but I mean, shit.
People do more, people do less. That it takes a long time to build
Oh
up.
yeah. Hey, nice circle back.
That's funny.
So, but at one point, you go a whole month without a sale or something.
Oh yeah.
Right? And I would say the fact that the amount of sales that I have based on, and listen, I still don't know what the fuck I'm doing yet. Like I know more than because I put a little time and energy in, but I still don't really know what the fuck I'm doing yet overall, because if I did, I'd be, vicious. But what I'm saying is the reason why I've been able to sell the few things that I have at this point is over probably 7,000-8,000 articles of clothing. You know what I'm saying? Which is
That's huge. That's
what I'm
that
saying.
makes it a lot different. That's
You're right.
wait, what?
Yeah, I'm telling you, and it's thousands of dollars. Like it's just I just don't know what I'm doing and here's my biggest problem. I'm being completely transparent. Fuck it, is my processes and my systems are not efficient. So like my business model, which is not, it's a laughable business model, but how I've learned how to do this, because that's the business, you have to learn how to do it. It's just not set up for sustainability until I change it. You know what I'm saying? So like for instance, I'm buying the products per transaction, which that's just not sustainable. I'm gonna have to buy like an inventory worth of shit, or we can go to something like Printful. But I told you I decided, I decided not to do that. But my point is it's like for instance, if someone buys a hat, right, and especially a custom hat. So it'd be one thing if it's just a black hat, but I have some of those hats that has like blue with the pink, which is fire, right? And then people have bought it. But then you have to get the size, and they're not and like a fitted.
Oh, you're doing fitteds, okay.
Well, that's my point is I don't have the system right, because maybe I shouldn't sell fitteds because one person bought a hat and it didn't fit them, and then because I'm buying it per time, now that costs me, and because I'm a good business, or at least I have a great customer service, I'm going to eat that because I want you to have a good product. But then that takes away from and listen, it's only $20-something hat, but you do that enough, that's a fucking problem. Yeah. You sell McDonald's sells $3 hamburgers. You fuck up all the $3 hamburgers, it's a goddamn problem, right?
It's a $1 billion situation.
right. So my systems are just trash. It's because I haven't learned business. I didn't go to business school, and probably financial energy up front, right? Because if you give me $25,000 right now, and I just bought a bunch of inventory, then I could probably solve that issue. But then it'd be another issue, and that's what you have to learn. The point I was trying to make was the fact that I have sold a decent amount for someone who doesn't know what the fuck they're doing yet is because I have been building this brand for 10 years and didn't know it. The whole CARESNONE thing, and listen, we put names on brands and we put these symbols on our brand, right? And a lot of people think that that's the brand. Like, no, the brand is like all the shit that it means, right? We just label it because human beings label every fucking thing, right? But at the end of the day, the brand is what it stands for. And then since I'm the one who's created this brand, people have been fucking with what I have been fucking with. I just so happened to label it something that we all kind of knew that it was a thing that I was saying. But they weren't buying it because I named it CARESNONE. They were buying it because of the shit that I had been talking about and the person who I was,
But see, is that okay? How's that different from building it on a business standpoint then? So as it shows up throughout the 10 years, of course, it's gone through different phases. As of late, it's been on a more of a business front. So is there a difference between those two at all, as far as like, or are those people who've been fucking with you always transitioning over to the business side?
I don't understand your question. I'm sorry.
So are they the ones that are supporting you, right? The ones who've been seeing this transition throughout the business side.
So I do believe that a good majority of the people who are buying shit now are either you fucked with me already, or you fucked with someone else who fucks with me.
Right.
I think the next evolution of CARESNONE is going to be to start putting it in front of people who don't know.
That's what I was trying to say. Like, where is it? That's what I was trying to. What's the difference between the business side of it and then the people who know, like Chris? Because that's how business kind of start off. You kind of have the people who know it and who've been rocking with it and been in it for a minute, got the merchandise and everything, and then when you take it to that next level, is reaching out to like Cali or some shit like that. How do you get to those? So that's what I was saying. So
as far as what I'm learning, as far as business, there's all kind of ways to market your shit through.
I wasn't saying that to like get a answer necessarily. It's more so like that's where the next part of your business is going.
For sure. Yeah, absolutely. We talked about that. It's just marketing your shit and then, figuring out what's the smartest way to get your shit in front of people and make it buy it.
I'm just like, it's kind of cool with CARESNONE because it's a personal brand and people fuck with you personally, but you turn the personal brand to a business part that's going to be reaching people that don't know you personally. Right. So that's what I'm saying. How is that dichotomy?
Yeah, so I believe, and I want to be honest to myself. How much time we got, Tom? Because I totally didn't catch track. What time did we start is a better question.
We are 53 minutes in.
Okay. So what happened with me, I was saying, we were talking about the dichotomy between the business and the personal brand.
Right.
Okay. How about this? I'm going to tell you what the plan is, I think. And I think the real plan would be go talk to a strategist or consultant that knows. Right. That's probably the ultimate plan. But again,
it's going to get there, but it takes time.
It's going to get there, but like the best play would probably be go to a company that has been vetted, that we've built this, and this, and we know that shit ain't gonna be cheap because they know that we're gonna turn your shit around. You know what I'm saying? We know everything. We've even dealt with that even with the what's the one indie rap that whole thing that they offered this whole, whether we fuck with them or not, but remember they were trying to offer this whole we can do this. You print, and there's all, and I keep seeing it now because now I'm getting targeted for that kind of shit now with the Facebook ads. Like, you know what? You pay us this, and we'll take care of all of it, right? Whether or not they'll do it or not, whatever. You got to do your vetting. But that would be the next best case. But if I'm being honest, man, the processes, man. And so as far as the website, we talked about this. Now I'm going Shopify this time. I decided to do Shopify, and here's the main reason why. Is because I'll be able to do more changes without necessarily having to hire someone because I don't know how to do WordPress. Because I feel like with WordPress, you got to know how to do that shit. With Shopify, it's kind of like user friendly. You see what I'm saying? Whereas, and I don't know how to code and all that kind of shit. I'm sure I can go on YouTube and figure it out, but how much time is that going to take? You know ain't about that.
Code?
Huh?
You got a code on WordPress?
I'm just saying, in order to put all that shit.
Yeah, it's definitely more complicated.
Yeah, you got to
That's why I hire people on there.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, if you're going to do your own thing on WordPress, you got to know how to
you got to build that bitch.
Build sites,
It gives you the technology for it. But
In Shopify, they just, boom, boom.
Right.
And it's made for e-commerce, whereas, and I learned this from you, WordPress, their Shopify is WooCommerce.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, so that's and their whole
just
thing,
learning that part, all of that integration alone for
it's
business.
a whole goddamn thing, right? That's right. So that the trick is for me, I believe, and again, it's just ebbs and flows, and I'm starting to love that part of it.
Ebbs and flows.
I'm starting to love and I see what all the successful people say. You have to love the journey and not the end goal. What's the quote that says the person who loves to walk will walk further than the person who's trying to get to the destination.
Right.
And it makes sense. Like, no, just love the entrepreneur, love the fact that it's a game, love the challenge. You know, like so now the reason why I cannot stop, because it's you want to talk about challenge. To me, the entrepreneurship is 1,000,000,000% more difficult than losing weight. And some people will think losing weight is the most impossible thing on earth. But the fact that I have done it and currently doing it right now, you know what I'm saying? It's like so no, to me, I can do that. I've done it. And I feel like I'm an expert in that because would you say someone who's lost 175 pounds is considered an expert and he did it with no fucking surgeries, no starving, did it the good, clean way, kept it off practically for 10 years. Right? And
losing weight's a little bit more black and white than business, I'd say. So I think you're right. I haven't. Yes, you've clearly done it, but like business, it's a little bit
there's so much
wishy-washy and like who knows what. You could do everything right, but like if people aren't buying, they aren't buying. You know, like it's not like with weight loss, it's like intake, working out,
calorie
and
deficit. Right. But there's some mental aspect to it too.
Of course.
But you're right.
There's mental in entrepreneurship too, but
I think it's more. I think it's way more. I think entrepreneurship is way more mentally like taxing, and it's like. Okay, especially if you have shit that like again with the procrastination, it's like, dude, there's just no way you're gonna be a successful business if you have a very vicious problem with procrastination. You have to nip that in the bud somehow. At least at the very minimum, dial some of that back. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm sure we all have procrastinations to certain things, but then there's some people like Steve don't procrastinate at all.
That's why he's
fucking killing it. You know, when he says he's gonna get his shit done, he's gonna get it done.
Yeah.
But yeah, I guess for me now is probably finding a way to just get more financial energy, and I think the way I'm gonna do that. And I'm gonna bring it to you guys. So here's my plan, and I'm gonna say this for the first time. I'm gonna make an authentic, high quality baseball jersey. Right?
Do it.
Like super nice, I'm talking about like if you went to the Cubs and got one of those, CARESNONE, whatever, make it super nice. And let's just say like, because those things, like a good high quality one will cost $150, right? But I'm gonna charge like $300 for it. And I'm gonna be open about it. I'm saying this cost $150. I'm charging $300 for it. So for the people who will, and maybe have different tiers, because some people might, if I don't make the offer, how do I know people, if some people have already spent $1,000 with me. So if someone's already spent thousands in the past, why wouldn't they buy the thing? And I'm gonna give you like an incentive, like so this would be like the founding fathers of, because if I can get 10 grand from this situation, right, of this fundraising, so to speak, and then you guys will literally, the people who got in on that will literally be helping CARESNONE. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It's kind of like we were talking about with the crypto, with the
NFTs?
NFT thing.
Yeah.
Same principle.
Yeah, same principle,
but you're actually going to physically get,
Yeah.
Or maybe even have like a tier of like a donation, and then but the more utility. So not only do you get the utility of the hoodie, that would be a dope. I wouldn't put no bullshit on it. Right. But maybe put something on the site for the people who've done that. Like, these are the people who da-da-da-da.
Yeah, absolutely.
And maybe some people don't want that. Some people like, I just want to help out, and that's cool too. But maybe, and I would have to sit down and figure out how to make it clean. But that was the idea I'm having. That'd be a good way, I think, to fundraise like a good substantial amount of money. Because my thought process is people have repeatedly come to me and spent thousands of dollars already. Why would they not, if they fuck with the brand? Because you're only gonna spend $1,000 on something that you fuck with. You're not gonna just throw $1,000 at something that you don't fuck with, right? So if you already willing, like some people come back and I'm like their wardrobe.
Right.
So my point is okay, but this is where I'm at, y'all. I really need to get this going. And right now the financial energy, because as much as one shirt a day is good, if I'm being honest, the profit on one shirt ain't gonna really do nothing. Even in the week, I need to sell 20 shirts a day to start making it really pop. You know what I'm saying? Which is cool, and it'll get there with the advertisements. But even with the advertisements, you gotta spend the money to do that. And because I'm smart, I'm not gonna just sit there and put the advertisement without me putting it into someone else who knows how to do it, and you're gonna have to pay them to do it. Because I can sit here, I've done a little studying on Facebook advertisements, and I can go there, but it's still a learning curve, and I'm still probably jag a lot of money trying to learn the shit. Whereas why not just pay somebody what you're talking about, who this is what they do, I can vet them, but that's going to cost a percentage of the sales that they're going to make plus their fee per month or whatever, so this is, and that all costs financial energy. And unfortunately right now is proud and it's fucking awesome as it is to sell about a shirt a day, 4 or 5 a week, sometimes 10, sometimes none, ain't enough right now. And DoorDash definitely ain't enough to do that unless I'm working 80 hours a week or a day, but then I don't got time to make sure to do this other shit. So I need to fundraise in order to make it work, right? And I just feel like that'd be a cool idea.
Yeah. I mean, you have the community for it.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And I got people.
And you have you have real estate, man. You have a website, and when you can include anything in that shit. You know what I mean? And I think like a donation type of deal, or because you have a personal brand. These are people that personally rock with you. And personally have given you thousands of dollars. I think that like just having some type of memorabilia, like a nice solid piece, that would be something that that they could probably really gravitate towards. Just to even have on a plaque or some shit. Like if people are already putting $1,000,
that's my thing. So why would you not spend $300
in wardrobe specifically? So it's not like even that they've done a piece or something like that. So if they're putting their whole wardrobe into you,
yeah, I just think a baseball jersey is kind of dope.
Yeah.
But
I wouldn't make some exclusivity to it though, because if you wanna, when you're talking like you're trying to get people to fundraise, I think you can create exclusivity even more.
So give me an example.
Just
limited drop. I'm doing the math over here. But yeah, you should limit it, man.
Yeah.
Like a one-time, bitch.
Yeah.
I see what you're doing. Yeah, it's like kind of the same deal, but
I was kind of thinking,
I'd be like, we're gonna keep it to 50 or 75 or 100 of them.
Yeah,
and then we'll put a little like 1 of 1, 2 of 75,
definitely make that.
3 of 75.
Make an exclusive joint. That's Supreme's whole model is the scarcity.
Yeah. Well, and a lot of other brands are like kind of, especially in the clothing business, stealing that shit. So
but I like it for your personal brand specifically because you have, I mean, as far as you trying to raise capital too, or not trying to, but just needing that energy to help CARESNONE grow. That's a perfect play, I think, for you to create since you have people already on board. It's not like you trying to, like you just have more of a voice with your community that you can actually offer something like that with, I think. Even the donation portion. Just straight up, I'm gonna have this link because we know how to do it now with the, web stuff. All those type of resources, I think, because you have such a personal brand, people will gravitate towards that because they do. A lot of times, like he was saying last episode, people want to support you. That's what it is. So just give them platforms to support you. Right. It doesn't really matter about the
Chris CARESNONE Cash App.
Yeah, I'm saying.
Well, and it's funny because I forgot this one dude. His name is Myron Golden, and he was like, a lot of people fail in their businesses because they just don't make enough offers. And this obviously, I know offer and a donation is a little different, but the fact is, you said is when you're having a business, make sure you have all the opportunities for people to pay you.
Yeah, every opportunity to pay me.
For a hot minute, I didn't have Venmo. Like, why? You know what I'm saying? I had all of them, but Venmo, and then I procrastinated, and then I didn't do, you know what I'm saying? A real talk.
Yeah,
and everybody be like, hey, you got Venmo? I'm like, no, but I got Cash App, and they're like, okay. But then that's just customer experience. Like the guy wants to give you money, and you ain't got the thing for him. When all I had to do was make a phone call, and when I finally stopped procrastinating and made the phone call, I got it fixed in 35 seconds. Same thing with the taxes thing. Like, why the fuck did I procrastinate that? And then look, it was not that bad, and it's almost finished now. I'm thinking this because it was kind of a big deal. We thought, and it's like, no, it ain't that big of a deal. And your mom's like, no, we got this figured out. And this whole time, the fear of what I thought it was is not even remotely close. So that's another thing. We'll end it pretty soon. What you think is like the worst case scenario is like very seldom what it is ever.
Yeah.
It's like never that. It's always way, way less than you think. Yeah. And check this out. And now where my mindset is, as a matter of fact, so I told you my buddy fucked up with the pages on the 75 Hard, right?
Yeah.
So I'm like, damn, you fucked up. You got to start over, right? And I ain't going to hold it. You got to start over. He's like, I know, I'm going to do it. Da, da, da. My sick mind, and I love this, I was like, low key, I kind of envy you right now because one, you get to add 14 more days to your shit. This is what I'm like, and that's a vicious lesson you just learned. Maybe you read your shit in the morning now. You know what I'm saying? You just learn from your fuck up.
You start reading in the morning.
That's what I'm saying. So it's like, man, you can really flip that if your psychology is, I'm gonna turn these L's. The L's aren't losses, they're lessons. You know what I'm saying? That's the way I'm looking at life now. It's like, oh, like even with the cancer thing, right? Mm-hmm. One thing I learned from having the CLL was, I would say the main thing I learned from it, two things is one, when you think your life's over. And this is real shit. I legitimately thought I was dead. I put that on my mother's grave. I put that on Steve. Before I knew the truth of it, when I heard the news, all you heard the word is leukemia, and you're like,
right.
And I'm sitting there crying, and Steve like, me? Like, why me, nigga? Like, all I try to do is uplift people. I try to help motherfuckers, and I'm going to get this shit, and not knowing what it really is, because, you know, it's not a death sentence. Some people's cancers are a death sentence. This is not a death sentence. Obviously, I'd rather not have it. But, so then I had this like, oh, shit. And then when you learn that, oh, no, you still good. You know, you got to do a few things, but you still going to be good. That gave me like this second chance, kind of like, oh, whoa, that shit could be over. Like tomorrow, you got to go after it. Because what if some shit happens, you know? So you got to go out there right now and fuck all the other shit. If you want something, you want to take advantage of this life thing, you got to go out there right now. So that was the first thing I learned is go after it because you never know. But then two, and this is where my psychology's changed, I haven't been an early riser my whole life, especially working in the restaurant business. You know, if you don't start till 11, you sometimes don't get up to, you know how it is. You know, I don't know if you always got up early, but that's a prevalent issue in the restaurant business. Motherfuckers sleep late. And then you stay out late. It makes sense. It ain't like I'm some piece of shit. You ain't going home till 12, 1, and it's hard to go to sleep right away when you get to work, you know, or you get home. Yeah. So I had to take this medicine every day at 7. Guess who gets up early now? Think about that. So
on time like a motherfucker.
That's what I'm saying. And now I'm getting up, and now it's the other day with the 75 Hard thing, because I'm like, okay. So now that I'm realizing, now I got to really put together an extra 2 hours out of my day now that I did. So you want to talk about procrastination being a fucking problem. Now imagine if you just added two less hours, or you just took away 2 hours of your day and you were procrastinating and you fuck around, but you know you got to get this done, but you also got to fix your procrastination issue. Something's got to give, right? And I had already started getting up at 7 because of this medicine, because I had to take, if I don't take the medicine at 7, then I'm gonna fuck around and die. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, you got to take your fucking medicine. But like now it's easier for me to get up at 5:30 now, which is more often than not, when all the people who I study, a lot of them get up hella early. And a lot of them have a lot of their shit done before all the motherfuckers wake up. So I'm like, the reason I brought that up is like, you can take a lot of that bullshit that you're going through in your life, and I don't give a fuck what it is. I don't give a fuck what any of your issue is. Your mom beat you, you got this, you got AIDS. I don't give a fuck what your issue is, because I got them. You can flip that on some optimistic shit. And some people be like, well, not me. Okay, well, fuck you, because I have issues, right? Fucking black, overweight, fucking no dad, never met a no. No, I'm saying black and white America. That's a fucking real problem. Being black, overweight, and white America, right? That's an issue that at least I'm not a victim mentality, but that's the thing that I've had to deal with. Mother had passed away, and I was hella young, right? grandmother, single grandmother, black woman working 60 hours a week, taking care of her grandkid, all kind of issues.
Right.
You hear me make excuses for any of that shit? Never. So anyone tell me you can't get up and get a motherfucking 45-minute workout in, I swear to God, I show no sympathy for people who have such limiting beliefs about what the fuck that they can or cannot do, because honestly, you're just a pussy. And I say that out of love. Because that's how I like it. It's like, nah, you're just being a little bit of a bitch. You don't want to feel that. Because I know it sucks. I'd rather eat fucking Twinkies and shit, man. I love pizza. I love Cinnabon, nigga. Give me the Whopper with cheese. Give me the triple Whopper. I love that. But yes, you're going to have to say no to that shit, and you're going to have to feel that. Even with the drinking thing, and I'm sorry for going over, but even with my issue with the drinking in the beginning, it got so bad that I would have to drink to go places. So like, let's say I was going on a date at 7 o'clock, and I had got so reliant on the alcohol to get me to this like CARESNONE, right? But because in all actuality, I'm kind of like scared that they're gonna see the real me, just the me, not the fucking drunk. I got liquid courage me, right? Which we all do that. I did that shit vicious. We'd be at the motherfucking bar with the fellas, and I'd be like, dude, why aren't we talking to these girls? For years, I would always say that. I'm like, we should just go talk to them. Like, we'd be like, yeah, you're right. But no way, we never do it. And then we get drunk, and then we'd have the balls to go talk to them. And so then, and you just rely on that shit, right? So then it got to the point where I'd go on a date or something, and I would have to drink. I had to stop at the liquor store, get one of the little bottles, and knock that bitch back to walk into the situation, so I can walk in with the vibe. Whereas some people can start drinking at 7 and be cool, but no, I'm so scared to be me that I have to be drunk to see you from my first interaction. That's fucking ridiculous. To me, that's fucking ridiculous, for me personally, right? So it got so bad, so then when I finally made the decision to stop drinking, well, guess what? You're gonna have to face these dates now, right, as is.
Head on.
Head on. And it was uncomfortable, bro. It was super uncomfortable. But I'm telling you, if you can find that little, that like, I'ma just face that shit, whatever the fuck the issue is, I'ma just face it. I promise you, I believe this in my motherfucking core. You can be anything, because if cancer's not gonna stop you, if being black and white American ain't gonna stop you, if being 400 pounds morbidly obese ain't gonna stop you, if your liver enzymes are all fucked up ain't gonna stop you. If your drug addict mother ain't gonna stop you. You think my fucking 45 minutes is gonna stop me? So my fault. Went on a little soapbox right there. My bad.
It's a show for it, baby.
I'm serious though. I really believe that, man. So I'm telling y'all, motherfuckers can get y'all. I ain't talking to y'all. I'm talking about just the people. Y'all can get it done, man. But you're gonna have to face it. You're gonna have to feel that shit. You know, and I'm feeling it now too, because I'm like, oh, let's learn this business shit. You think I want to tell motherfuckers that I'm necessarily driving DoorDash? I want to be, but the reason I'm doing it is because I can easily go back to a fucking easy city job right now. I can easily do that at a nice restaurant, make 100 probably. Easy, you know that.
Right.
But I can't do that, one, because I told myself I'm never going back to the restaurant business, so I'm just going to stick to my word. But then two, I need to learn how to maximize working for myself. And I've learned that, okay, when you ain't got a job or they're forcing you, like, you know, you'll be fired if you're not here. It's like, no, okay, because, damn, I got to put some hours in. And, oh, but you got this person wants to hang out. This person, oh, now the sacrifices come in. It's like, oh, okay, because now I have my own time. I can do whatever the fuck I want. But it's like, no, but you still got to do this because you're only selling one shirt a day. So, and you can start doing that shit maybe, but you got to sell 20 shirts a day to have that kind of life that you want. So you're going to have to sacrifice. Right. And I haven't necessarily always won those sacrifices. I still do things I'm like, I probably shouldn't be here right now. You know? And then you might have to hurt some people. That's another thing too. I know we've had this situation, but I really got to get my shit together. And then they look at you like, oh man, like, you know, they think it's them. It's like, that has nothing to do with you. I just know that I need to get my shit together. Mm-hmm. And
probably ain't got time.
Well, we got time, but I don't got time for shit. All that time that I'm sitting there doing nothing, and not saying that I'm having ain't got time ultimately for that. Right. So
I get it. It makes sense.
That's where I'm at, man. That's where I'm at. But I tell you one thing though, I'm gonna figure this shit out. There's only two options. Either I'm gonna figure it the fuck out, or I'm gonna die. That's the only two things that are gonna happen, and nothing's gonna stop me. Period. And if someone doesn't agree with that, cool. you don't get any of my energy. I don't want you. I
Right.
don't want to be around you because I'm only around people who were like, yep, let's go.
Right.
When I brought this shit up to Rob, even though he fucked up, when I brought up the 75 hard, he was like, yep, let's do it. When Steve brought up the 75 hard, I was like, yep, let's do it. So I need those kind of, because those people keep me crazy. I'm like, okay, damn, okay. If that motherfucker, like, De'Eric is getting after right now, okay, I got to get after it too. I got to get after
Better
it too.
fucking do it, De'Eric, you bitch.
Oh yeah, I'm a bitch. Because I'm not
He gonna
do it,
drop
y'all.
you if
But,
you don't do it.
Right. But I ain't gonna do it. But I am a bitch.
De'Eric, man,
I'll be
where
a
can they
bitch there
find you?
with you.
Because I'm not doing it. I admit
I mean, not sports you doing a group, but
Oh no, I've supported because it's a challenge. Like that's what my man's is. His whole aura is built for this. He's been building this his whole life. You know, I actually love talking to you because you remind me of like just the dichotomy of our like how I am. You know what I mean? Like I'm a person that, and it makes so much sense for me. I'm a person that just feels being a human is enough. We don't have to. You mentioned walking earlier and walking outside and how that can be such a struggle for people. To me, in my mind, I'm like, nigga, you a human. What else have we been walking forever? You know what I mean? So I always think like the natural way, just being a human is enough. And I always try to live my life just by the way I try to make my moves. It's like I want the flow of just being a human to lead me. So I don't think life has to be such a challenge every time. I think life is challenging enough being a fucking human. Just be a human and that you're gonna win. So that's kind of how I always take it. But I love your approach because your life experience is different than mine. I haven't had half the things that you've had. You know what I'm saying? So I love that because hearing you helps me hear myself as well.
Oh, yeah, this is real talk.
Yeah, honestly, brother.
De'Eric, where can they find you?
Yes, so I'll still, I'm gonna be in the metaverse still. Pretty cool bonobos. I have some work going on right now. I have hired my guy Abdul, and he's working for me hours. I really honor that energy that I just invested in. So pretty cool bonobos coming soon. I'm gonna have some, actually, next time I see y'all, I should have some material to show you, like 3D videos going on.
Okay, all right, turn on. All right. Yeah. That's it?
Yeah, shout out to National Insurance again, just building
real
life
talk.
relations, and honestly, it's a relationship you can trust. I really will say that.
I'm listen, if y'all fuck with me, y'all fuck with them.
Yes.
Period. So that's what I feel about that. Tom, where can they find you, man?
my cam died, but you can find me at caresnone.com.
When did it die?
It just at the very end. I was on 1%.
Oh, okay, all right, that's fine.
I had to.
Yeah,
I was
step
working
your,
today.
Step your battery game up.
I know. I usually I had like a half drain battery today because I had to work and I just
been on the grind.
Working.
But it was good. It was good for all of it. Just the very end, and you guys won't see me, but here.
Okay. You can find me at Chris CARESNONE. So I have a updated, optimized site coming because I told you the old site is as cool as it was at the moment. It ain't hitting right now. And like I said, if let's say I paid fucking Rick Ross to wear one of my fucking hoodies right now, you know, and then he brought the traffic, they would look at this site and say, I ain't going, right? Right. So I would waste that energy on that.
Yeah, honestly.
So now the site, it's almost done. I want to clean up a few more things and set it up so then I can switch over to domain and everything. So that's coming up. Also, you can find me at Chris CARESNONE on all social media platforms. I'm pretty silly. I make some pretty interesting jokes. I just had a joke about male semen on a sandwich. So you should probably check that out.
All right.
Yeah,
So check that
very
out.
interesting sandwich. You gotta check the sandwich
I
out.
got a funny joke. Well, damn, it's not funny. I shouldn't have said that.
It's like, what did the blacks say to the, no.
Can I show a video?
A video?
Yeah, it's a video joke.
You know I'm a jungle what? City and the jungle together. You know how we get. By the way, I fucked up. I hit an 80-year-old woman today on my bike. Don't tell nobody. We had to call an ambulance and everything. It was fucked up.
Oh, shit.
Damn, we should talk about
I
that.
fucked up, y'all. My bad. I was pulling out. So you know how you in the city and shit. You got the high rises, right? But the high rises, a lot of times you got money. They got the little court, like the gates and stuff like that. The courts. So
Yeah,
it kind of like
right.
you got to pull into the cars and the cars come around. So I'm just dropped the delivery off and I come sliding down. You know the little pathway and a lady just come out of nowhere. She 80 and I hit her. I hit her
Like
pretty
square?
good. I hit her pretty square, but I
Did she
wasn't.
die?
No, did she die?
No, I'm saying
She
you hit
fell
my
pretty. She fell pretty good. She was like, "Oh shit! I didn't even know what hit me. I'm 80." And I was like,
damn, nigga.
But honestly,
Was she black?
She was black actually.
Oh, damn,
That's
nigga.
the only reason. That's the
still
only
hit-
reason he's here,
She
man.
still hit you
only
with
reason
If it was
I'm here,
a white
trust me.
chick, he
Oh,
would've
trust
been
me, she would've lost.
They would have put you
because
under the
honestly,
jail.
she didn't. I hit her pretty decently, but she didn't like crack shit. She ain't really fall like that. She was actually being dramatic about the ambulance and stuff. The EMT was like, she was good.
Damn.
Yeah, but I was.
You
she
almost
was
killed
like, oh my-
somebody.
I was like, damn, she was 80 though, so I don't care. Honestly, anybody falling at 80, that's fucked up. I don't want that to happen at all.
I'm sure
so.
she broke her hip.
Hopefully not.
Her hip is gone.
But shout out to her. I'm so sorry I hit you. Bitch.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry I hit
Big
you.
ups to that old lady, an 80-year-old old lady who got fucked up.
I'm so mad about that still. I didn't mean to hit you, baby.
And as always, cares none.
Yeah, yeah.